Okay, this is a level check. Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're listening right now, getting ready for this, you might hear some scratchiness. I'm putting the mic on right now. And we've got a lot to talk about. All right. Coming up at 7:15. Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer live in the First Alert Weather Center at Fox 19 now. We have the risk of widespread severe weather this evening and overnight, and then for a few days, the risk of some flooding rains. And it looks like we are going to be busy in the Weather Center. Although right now, if you look at our tower cam shots, 79 degrees. That's the official international airport temperature. Humidity a little bit higher than it has been. And basically it is, we've got all the right conditions essentially for getting some severe weather with a couple wrinkles in there. Now, remember, whenever we're talking about severe weather and we talk about it a couple days ahead of time and build up to it, we have to watch all the elements and they all have to come together exactly right. Okay, for a big tornado to form, you've got to have all the elements right. Otherwise, it might be a little tornado or one might not form at all. And this time it looks like all the elements are coming together, but there are a few indications that it's going to kind of weaken as it moves into the tri-state. But not every indication says that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I've got for you here on the 7:15 live streaming weather show. This is the significant tornado parameter. It's several different variables that indicate whether or not there's going to be a tornado. And notice this has it peaking kind of like right now. Now this really has more to do with the way the winds blow in the environment, how much instability there is and all that. And it may be here a little bit before the rest of the system. So what that means is that this may not work toward giving us a significant tornado. So if we take a look at what happens, there it peaks, okay, mainly to the west or our viewing area, but in the yellow there, most of the Fox 19 Now viewing area, and that is 8:30 p.m., and then it just kind of dies out as we head toward 2:30 a.m. So we still have enough rotation in the atmosphere, enough instability for there to be strong severe thunderstorms, but it looks like the chance of a long track big tornado will weaken quite a bit. We could still see some smaller tornadoes, but overall, we are again talking about severe weather in the tri-state. So here's the satellite radar loop. First thing you see here is if you look right off to the very edge of the screen, there's some shower and thunderstorm activity starting to move our way. Now, we said that the window for severe weather starts at 8 o'clock, probably will be later than that, but some of the models had it coming in earlier, and so to make sure that nobody gets surprised, we put the window for severe weather from about 8 p.m. all the way into about 5 tomorrow morning. And the back end of that may be brought up a little bit, maybe a couple hours shorter, but we'll take a look at all that coming up here. So there you see the precipitation starting to move toward the tri-state. Now, if we zoom out, there's a significant little change here that we kind of anticipated, but it hadn't shown up until just a couple hours ago, and that's this. See this little cluster of thunderstorms down here? Okay. These are what we call discrete cells. In other words, each one is its own individual, not like a line here. So these discrete cells indicate, and there have been tornado warnings with that, and I've actually seen some debris detection which says there might have been several touchdowns. We don't have news on it yet. But this little cluster of thunderstorms is heading north and east right at us. And this is moving a little bit faster, and if you look here in the last frame, I'll let you see it full screen in a minute, you can see what looks like a bow echo. There's several little bow echoes here, and I'll show them to you. So let's go ahead and look at it full screen. And what you see there is that cluster of thunderstorms is heading our way, and there are several little what we call bow echoes embedded in that line of thunderstorms. So what I'm going to do is make it now. This is the current. And I will zoom in a little bit here. Oops, hit the wrong thing. Zoom in a little bit here. And I'll use my great skill as a weather artist. I'm kidding. To show you what I mean. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the arrow. So if you look at it just to the east of where I'm drawing this yellow line, you can see a couple of arcs. So you know what? It would look much better if I did it with a different color. Okay, so let me change the color on the arrow, and that way it won't blend right in with the rainfall. Jeez, where is? There it is. All right, so I'm going to change the color to a dark blue. All right, so now you can see what we call bows, or little arcs, little bows of echoes right here, just to the east of this blue line. You can see one. You see another right there. Okay, so you see two little arcs of severe thunderstorms, and this out ahead of it. All right, so what's going to happen here? It looks like this stuff is going to meet this stuff between Louisville and Madison, Indiana. So this is heading this way, this is heading this way, and they should collide between Louisville and Madison, Indiana. And what I'm thinking is that's going to give us a little extra oomph to get some severe storms. Okay, so that is kind of what the one model we have shows. So let's go ahead and go on to the next thing here. We're going to zoom out a little bit and take off the cloud cover, and there are all the tornado watches. Okay, the tornado watches extend from Lake Michigan all the way down to south of Tennessee and to southern Arkansas. And I tell you what, those tornado watches have a lot of tornado warnings within them. Okay, so we definitely have an outbreak of severe weather going on around the tri-state. Now let me go ahead. I've got to drag some other stuff around here first. All right, so okay, so what we're looking at here, you can see back here when the rain clears it, you can see that the magenta or the pinkish purple color, that is tornado warnings, and there are numerous tornado warnings all the way up into south central Illinois, even some up here south of Gary, Indiana. But all this, so this stuff and this stuff are on a collision course, and I think they're going to combine their efforts just west of the Fox 19 Now viewing area, probably 11 p.m. to 11:30, and bring us a pretty good chance of some severe thunderstorm activity. So let me go ahead and zoom in again to that. And you can see that cluster of thunderstorms moving off to the north and east. Right now, just severe thunderstorm warnings, but there were some tornado warnings with that. Actually, there's one tornado warning in far northern parts of Tennessee, about to cross into Kentucky. And so that cluster is kind of heading our way. So zoom in a little bit closer, and okay, there's another tornado warning right there. And you can see the tornado warning near Boulevard, basically north of LaGrange. And I'm going to move this so you can see it a little bit better. And you see a couple of cells that have kind of merged there. Well, I've got something here for you. What I've done is I've taken my laptop with some software and I've hooked it up to this monitor, and I should be able to show you what the radar out of Memphis shows it, rather than this composite radar. Show you what the radar out of Memphis is showing. It'll take a second for it to come up here. All right, so let me show you what I've got here. I'm going to stop this animation, and we're going to back up a little bit. I'm going to drag the map to the north, and I'm going to zoom in, not zoom out. And you can see what a tornadic supercell thunderstorm looks like, okay? Now, this is the one right here that earlier was just north of Grand Junction. And when I looked at the debris detection, it said, hey, there probably was a touchdown there, but I haven't heard any results about it. But a supercell thunderstorm is a thunderstorm that is imported air with rotation, and that's why it spins up. And how that rotation works, again, I'll get my old trusty paper towel tube here. So if this is the surface of the earth and this is higher winds, the higher winds are faster, so that imparts a rolling, since these are going faster. In other words, they can both be moving, but because the upper ones are going faster, this tube, whoops, almost dumped my coffee over, this tube tends to rotate like this, okay? And then it gets sucked up into the thunderstorm and can turn into, and actually I did it backwards, let me do it again. It's rotating like this, it gets sucked up into the thunderstorm, and that rotation can be concentrated into a tornado, okay? And kind of how that happens is you've got the rotation horizontally, basically, along the ground. The rotation continues, it gets sucked up and tilted into the thunderstorm, and as it gets tilted to the vertical, because the updraft is so much faster than the winds down here, it stretches that, and if it stretches it, the rotation rate picks up quite a bit. So we have wind shear creating rotation, the air with rotation tilted and sucked up into the thunderstorm. the thunderstorm updraft is so strong it stretches it, and that means it's got to get skinnier and rotate faster and faster and faster. Okay, and that's what's happening here. You see the curvature here. You see the curvature of this one. So this would be the hook echo right here. Here's the hook echo on this one. You see a hail core on this one. And what's happened is these storms are in an environment that is such that they import a great deal of air into the updraft. That rotation becomes part of the storm, and it begins to curl around that circulation that's created. Okay, so these are two supercell thunderstorms. This is a little while ago. This is 5:39 our time. Okay, and you can see the curvature of these storms. And then if we just kind of step this forward a little bit, oops, wrong mouse. Okay, if we just step this slowly forward a frame or two, you'll be able to see it. I can't put that full screen because that's in the monitor itself. You can see those cells, they're kind of merging when we get here, and the southern one's still rotating quite a bit, but they're kind of merging there and they're kind of losing their power. So in some cases, there's enough rotation and the environment is such that those cells can go for miles and miles and miles, hundreds of miles sometimes, and drop tornadoes every once in a while. And again, you can still see the curvature here in this one. That's the mesocyclone circulation. There's less curvature here, but it's still there. This one's kind of, so here's the inflow notch that we talk about. Here's the curvature around that, but that curvature and the circulation there is weakening. But those are two tornadic thunderstorms on the radar out of Memphis. Okay, also on the radar out of Memphis, you can see all this stuff. And then let me go to now. Okay, and so, as a matter of fact, look at this. Here is a supercell. This is the one that Jeff Creighton loves to say looks like a pork chop. Okay, so here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, got it. So here is a supercell with curvature and rotation. Okay, we go further. Go further south. Here's another supercell with rotation. Okay, go a little bit further off to the south and west. Here's another supercell that's trying to spin up. Doesn't quite have the curvature. Here's another one to the south of that. That's trying to spin up. This one's trying to spin up. This one's trying to spin up. And it just keeps going. Okay, I mean, so there's an entire line. You can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 supercells out of this main line that are spinning, rotating, and trying to spin up, along with the stuff. Okay, so this is Memphis right here, along with these discrete cells right here. So this stuff is heading toward the tri-state. This is heading toward the tri-state. I think those two combine between Madison, Indiana, and Louisville, and that at least that's what it looks like on the model, and we end up with a severe weather event this evening. So let's go back to okay, go back to the weather computer now. So if you time this out, if you time this cluster out, actually, let me retime it because it was a few minutes ago that I did that. Those storms are moving at 55 miles an hour. So if I erase that, okay, I go back into the tool that lets me do that. And here's the leading edge of those storms heading to the north and east. And that puts them into Cincinnati at 11:12. Okay, now, when I first looked at these, it said 11:57, then it said 11:27, now it says 11:12. So they're getting closer and closer and maybe accelerating a little bit more. But they should move our way. But again, what I'm thinking of on this thing, too many versions of the mouse around here. What I'm thinking of is here's the cluster of thunderstorms, still with some tornado warnings in some of those cells, moving north and eastward like this. Here's this line moving eastward like that, and it looks like they'll combine their efforts between Louisville and Madison, Indiana, right in here, as they move into the Fox 19 Now viewing area. And that generally can be a problem. In other words, this one's got energy in rotation, this one's got energy in rotation, and they usually don't collide and destroy each other. They usually collide, combine, and become a little bit stronger. So we're going to keep an eye out for that through the evening hours, okay? So we'll take a look at what the Storm Prediction Center says. So the Storm Prediction Center, earlier on today, upgraded us, and it's hard. I'm a red-green colorblind, so I have trouble seeing the difference in some of those colors. But you can see that there's a moderate risk, a level 4 out of 5 of severe thunderstorms into Hamilton and Butler counties, into Boone County, and it just it's easier to do it this way. So in other words, it's hard for me to tell the difference in colors here. But the moderate edge of it is Butler County, Hamilton County, down through Boone County, down through Carroll and Gallatin, or Gallatin and Carroll, and just barely touching Owen County. So this all of southeast Indiana is under a moderate risk. Parts of northern Kentucky, but most of the rest of the viewing area is under an enhanced risk. When you get out to Lewis County in the far southern corner of Adams County, it turns into a slight risk. But overall, it means that we are definitely in store for some severe thunderstorms. Okay, now let me show you this. Okay, discussions. They just put out a mesoscale discussion. Okay, it just came out here. Is this it? No, that's not that one. Okay, that concerns that cluster of thunderstorms, and the mesoscale discussion comes all the way up to southern Owen County. So if I back this up here, it'll come back up to the radar. It should in a second. There we go. Now erase all that garbage on there. So a mesoscale discussion for this, it's just a polygon. I don't have it plotted here. That comes up here, and you can see the tornado watch comes right up to Owen County, right up to Carroll, right up to Switzerland County, right up to southern part of Ripley County. So I'm thinking that pretty soon we're going to be in a tornado watch around the tri-state. Okay, so that mesoscale discussion, let me... okay, there we go. Now I got it. It says... severe potential. Watch is possible. This was a few minutes ago, so they've already issued the tornado watch here. So remember, I told you that what I was worried about is this cluster of thunderstorms and its energy coming this way, this line coming this way. They combine their efforts between Louisville and Madison and roll into the tri-state. So, okay, and this is interesting because they're saying essentially what I just told you. They're saying the risk of strong to severe convection, including supercells posing a risk for damaging wind gusts and tornadoes, may increase through 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time because of these two things combining. Okay, so that's what we have to watch, and I've been watching this for a long time. And one of the things about doing weather and severe weather coverage is by the time it's over, you're really done with it. You've been talking about it for days. Okay, so let's go back to full screen on that. So that cluster of thunderstorms you see there, okay, this cluster of thunderstorms right here, okay, and this line of thunderstorms right here, okay, are going to combine about here at the X, okay? So that would be between Louisville and Madison, Indiana. Okay, when that happens, the energy of both is combined in, so you increase the energy over a given area, and that generally means the storms are going to be stronger. So I would prepare myself for several tornado watch pretty soon, and several tornado warnings coming out. Now, it's not all bad news because it is weakening a little bit as it comes north and eastward. But again, the energy from this and the energy from this meeting, they occupy the same area, so that's more energy in a smaller area, so they should strengthen and cause us a few issues here. All right, so let's go ahead. And again, you know, I can see that on this monitor better than I can see it on some. But so there is a moderate risk to the west of this line, an enhanced risk to the east of that line with a little bit of area just under a slight risk. But everybody's got a significant risk of severe weather this evening overnight. All modes of, of severe weather are possible. No Diet Mountain Dew tonight, it's coffee. Okay, so all modes of severe weather are possible. Large hail, we could see damaging wind gusts, and as a matter of fact, those Boeing line segments tell me that we could see 70 to 80 mile an hour wind gust in the tri-state if they don't weaken before they get here. So large hail, damaging wind gusts, tornadoes, and of course with that comes torrential rainfall. And we do have some heavy rain in the forecast overnight. We have heavy rain in the forecast again as we had Thursday night into Friday and then Saturday into Sunday. And so we could see quite a bit of rainfall as we head through the next couple of days here. So right now, the concern is the severe weather. We're a little ways away from it, so we don't have to put out any warnings yet. But let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of it. So here's the model output. Okay, this is new model output, and what we'll see is, okay, right there, it has got the thunderstorm activity moving into the tri-state after 10 p.m. Now this is 10:30, so we already have a potential severe thunderstorm as far east in our viewing area as southern Ripley and southwestern Dearborn County, along with western Ohio County. Okay, by 10:30, we already have strong to severe thunderstorms moving toward Connorsville. So we give it a window of 8 o'clock just in case those discrete cells that formed ahead of the line formed a little bit further north and came in earlier. So we're happy with our thoughts. We made sure that everybody knew that the day today would not have severe weather, that it would be an evening or late evening thing, and that's kind of what's happening. So let's go back and watch that, okay, and watch for those magenta cells. Okay, now you see a line right here of potentially severe thunderstorms. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 cells. With what we know about the environment that these are moving into, there's more humidity, there's a lot of warm air, so there's energy there, and there's a lot of rotation from wind shear. So each of these could spin up a tornado, so we could go into tornado warnings. In addition, there's another one up here. So here's the entire line that we're watching coming into the tri-state, and notice how that's kind of got that curve right there. That's what we call a bow echo, and I'll tell you what, I'll brag about my skill as an artist once again, although drawing a line is far from being an artist. Okay, so this notice how this bowing segment of thunderstorms, it curves like that. Okay, that is what we call a bow echo. Now, you'll also see kind of a line of possibly severe thunderstorms like this. So what this is telling me here is that that what you're looking at is you're looking at a low pressure system here. Okay, so this would be what we would call and see, there I go. I can't draw worth a darn. But so this is a low pressure system right here. Okay, and this part of it would be a little bit of a small scale warm front. This would be a small scale cold front, but we call it a bow echo. And this is a preferred area for not only strong straight line winds, but also for rotating thunderstorms. So I'm thinking that by midnight, we're probably going to see quite a bit more happening, okay, in the tri-state. All right, so let's erase that so we can go on. Okay, so now I'll go back to full screen. So there you see those thunderstorms. Now notice by the time we get to 1 a.m., they've moved eastward. So now the thunderstorms that are potentially severe run from Owen County up through northern Grant, here into parts of Gallatin, southern Boone, into Hamilton County, right in the Cincinnati metro area, north into Butler and Warren counties, and then north of that. And this, again, is that bowing line. Now, it's straightening out a little bit, but it looks like a line of strong, we might call it a squall line, of strong thunderstorms. Each could have rotation in it as it moves eastward, and this is 1 a.m. So by 1 a.m., it's about halfway through the Fox 19 Now viewing area, all right? So what does that tell you? That tells you that by 1 a.m., if you're in Vanceburg, West Union, Hillsborough, Georgetown, Maysville, Mount Olivet, Brooksville, you don't have anything to worry about until about 1 a.m. Okay, let's take a look at where it goes next. Okay, so from 1 a.m. to 2:30 a.m., it weakens even more. Okay, now you see fewer strong to severe thunderstorm cells. Highland County here on the Brown-Adams County line, a couple of them. Then down here moving toward the southern part of Lewis County. Okay, so those storms are still strong. They're still potent. They could still cause a tornado, but they're fewer and they're weaker. So we're beginning to see everything weaken out. Okay, so that is as of 2:30 a.m. And then if we go ahead, I'm going to try and do this by hand. Okay, so now if we go ahead another hour, okay, this is half an hour, 3 a.m. Notice the strong to severe thunderstorm cells are out of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. Okay, even if you look at this, even that far eastern tip of Lewis County is clear of severe weather. But again, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells here, but they're beginning to weaken quite a bit. Okay, so I think through probably 2:30 to 3 a.m., parts of the Fox 19 Now viewing area have the chance of some severe weather. Okay, let's go ahead one more time, a little bit more here. Okay, so here is 4:30 a.m., here's 5 a.m. Okay, notice that we still have some thunderstorm activity indicated, but it's all out of our viewing area. It's begun to dry out, so by 5 a.m., this particular model, and I agree with it, Connersville, Liberty, Brookville, College Corner, Oxford, Batesville, Versailles, St. Leon, and northern parts of Dearborn County should be dry, and then everything else should be tapering off with the heavy rain still from Mason, Lewis, and Adams County pushing off to the south and east. Okay, so there could still be some heavy rain there. All right, let's go another. Okay, so we'll go to 7 a.m. and you can see still some heavy rain from Owen County through Grant, through Pendleton, into Bracken, into Robertson around Mount Olivet, Maysville and Mason County, Brown County, Adams County, Lewis County. So still at 7 a.m. we have some heavy rain out there, but the threat of severe weather has ended, and we push it off to the south and east, and by the time we get to 10:30 and 11 a.m., there might be a few sprinkly showers around, but we're pretty much done with that. All right. So I'm thinking that we can best say, if we go backwards here based on this model, that the severe threat, okay, one more time backwards, probably begins right here around 10 to 10:30 p.m. Okay, you can see those storms moving into the tri-state. So let's say 10 o'clock is when the severe threat begins now based on this model. Okay, and if we go eastward, the severe threat, right there, ends by the time we get to 3 a.m. And then we still have the problem with rain and flooding rains around the tri-state. So it's going to be a long, long night. There is very little doubt about that. All right, now let's go back to what else we're doing, and then I'll go and see if anybody has any questions. Okay, so the next thing up is the flood watch. We've got a flood watch in effect for essentially the entire Fox 19 Now viewing area. That's in effect from this evening on into Sunday morning. If we take a look at wind alerts, we still have a wind advisory in effect for the counties that are shaded in till midnight. Winds could gust to 50 outside of thunderstorms. And take a look at what the European model says for rainfall totals. Now, this is not tonight. This is for the 5 days. So from when it starts this evening or tonight into Monday, they're saying Owenton, Vevey, Dry Ridge, Falmouth could all get more than 8 inches of rain, almost 7 inches in Florence, more than 6 in Cincinnati, more than 6 in Batavia and Georgetown. Geez, I mean, it's just 7.7 in Batesville, 7.17 and 7.62 in Lebanon and Hamilton, respectively. So this is a lot of rainfall. Now, if you don't get a lot of rain during the first episode, it'll just serve to wet the soil. The next episode will come in and probably cause another chance of some heavy rainfall. So by the time we get to Sunday and it ends, we have quite a bit of rain coming down in the tri-state. And if we take a look at this, this is the map of the severe weather threat Thursday into Friday morning. Notice how the severe weather threat pushes to the south, really almost out of our viewing area. But as we head into Saturday, we might see that slight risk return into the tri-state. So Saturday could also bring some severe weather, but not a great risk of that. Okay, right now airport temperatures upper 70s to lower 80s around the tri-state. 79 right now at the International Airport. We see temperatures drop off to 72 by 11 p.m. overnight, drop off into the lower 60s. Climate Prediction Center says colder than normal from the 8th through the 12th. Says colder than normal, but starting to warm up between the 10th and the 16th, and then near normal from the 15th to the 28th. Rainfall about normal through the 12th. A little bit less than normal through the 16th, and about normal through the 28th. Okay, now one thing I wanted to do here that I forgot to put into the show is the longer term model so you can see what's going on here. All right. And like I told you many times, this is like a sock drawer. I know your sock drawer may be very neat, but mine isn't. And so my computer storage is like a sock drawer, kind of hard to find things. I think this will do it. Yeah. Okay. So here is what this model is saying as of 7:40 p.m. Now watch what happens. I'm just going to step through this by hand. I've got to enlarge it. All right. So I'm going to step through this. I'm going to try to step through this by hand. All right. So now, there's what it looks like now. Okay. So the rainfall and it moves off and ends in the area tomorrow morning. Okay. Notice it dries out for a while through the day on Thursday. Thursday night, we've got another system coming our way. That one sets up mainly from the city southward, okay? As we head into Friday later in the day, it dries out, but here comes another one right here. So by evening Friday, it gets wet again. That rain continues off and on into Saturday. Notice it continues on into Sunday morning, and then as we dry out as we head past noon on Sunday. So all those episodes of rain could bring us about 8 inches of rain in spots. And yeah, that's enough, depending on how much falls upstream. That's enough for the Ohio River to go up. As a matter of fact, the Ohio River, let me check this out. Let me see if I can find the latest Ohio River forecast for you. And I will put them back up here on the screen so those of you that watch the Ohio River have the latest information there. Okay, OHRC, Ohio River Forecast Center. Forecasts. All right, so here is, okay, here's what my computer desktop looks like. And, okay, here we go. Oh, this is the Ohio River Forecast Center website. They've done a great job with this. And then here are all the places that there are gauges in that. And we'll just zoom in. Okay, so the first one we'll do is the Cincinnati stage. And if you look at this, flood stage is up here at 52 feet. You can see that they have the Ohio River rising very quickly. Okay, this starts, let's see if I put the mouse down on there. Okay, so Wednesday, April 2nd, which is today, they show the river beginning to rise quickly, and by the time we get to Sunday, April 6th, it's at 50.5 feet. Okay, so 50.5 feet, 410,000 cubic feet per second of water going past Cincinnati. So the Ohio River, for those of you that are interested in the Ohio River, it's not going to make it to flood stage based on this forecast. It's going to stop just below flood stage, but action stage is down here at 40 feet. This is when we begin to see some problems. Parts of the river, for example, when the river level hits 42 feet, the dog park that I've gone to a lot, Otto Armletter Dog Park near Lunken Airport, is closed because at 42 feet the intersection is underwater a little bit. At 38 feet, the bike trail that connects Otto Armletter to Lunken Airport is underwater. Okay, and then there are some streets that kind of dead end at the river that are low that end up getting water when you get into the 40s. And by the time you get up to 46, a good portion, the P&G Pavilion has got water in it. Down along the Ohio riverfront. Okay, now that's just the Cincinnati pool. We can go. They've done a really great job with this. Okay, the next upstream gauge is the Meldal Dam. Okay, so we can look at the Meldal Dam forecast here, and they've got the same thing. Flood stage up at Meldal is 51 feet. Okay, and so here it is now, and it's going to rise steeply and make it up to 45.5 feet. So it's going to stop. Cincinnati's going to stop 1.5 feet below flood stage. Meldal is going to stop about 5.5 feet below flood stage. For those of you that are upriver at Meldal, that means action stage there is 49 feet, so it's not even quite making it to action stage. Next upriver from that is the Maysville gauge. And notice the Maysville gauge does rise faster, but it stops at 45.5 feet, 2.5 feet below action stage, so that's not too much. And then what we didn't look at, the river gauge downstream. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's go this way, start going downstream. Okay, so there's Maysville again. There is Meldal Dam. Here is Cincinnati. Cincinnati's gauge is right on the suspension bridge, okay, the Roebling suspension bridge. And we go down to Markland, and they have a quick rise also, but action stage is 45 feet right here at Markland, and it's going to, no, that's not correct. 40, I'm sorry, I didn't look at that right. Let me, there's this thing over top of it. I don't know why it's right there, but yeah, so action stage is 49 feet. And so Markland is going to stop about 1.7 feet below that and then crest and begin to fall off. And that occurs, of course, also on a Sunday or Saturday. So those are the Ohio River forecast, the latest ones from the Ohio River Forecast Center. Just thought you might like to see those. Okay, we can also look at some of the minor rivers if you're interested. Let's see, here's Little Miami River at Milford is expected to go up to 17 feet. That's right at flood stage in Milford, only for a short time. Okay, that's the Little Miami River in Milford. Let me see where I am here. Okay, so then go to the Little Miami River near South Lebanon. Same thing, it's going to, but it's going to make it up to 25 feet. It's going to have almost moderate flooding. So those of you that are around the Little Miami River in the South Lebanon area, we go down here to Ohio Brush Creek, should make it up to 22.4 feet. Flood stage is 16 feet, so it's going to go. So if you live in Adams County along Ohio Brush Creek, or the headwaters of it up in Highland County, the Ohio Brush Creek near West Union is going to go to about 6 feet, a little bit more than 6 feet above flood stage. And if you live along that, and you've lived there a long time, you know what that means. So just be aware that you're going to see a quick rise on Ohio Brush Creek. Okay, what else can we see here? Let's see. We also have Great Miami River at Miamitown is expected to, minor flooding is 16 feet, that's the flood stage. When you get to moderate flooding, it's 24 feet, so it's going to get just about to the moderate flooding stage. So if you're along the Great Miami River, it's going to go up quite a bit, and if you have some some of those low-lying areas around that, you're probably going to end up with some water. Here's the Great Miami in Hamilton. It is going to not even make flood stage up in the Hamilton area. Okay, so that's good news. And here's the Great Miami River at Franklin, Ohio. Looks like it's going to make it up to minor flooding, so minor flooding. Now we can go to the Whitewater River at Brookville, or near Brookville. Should go just above action stage. They don't expect it to make flood stage. And then the West Fork of the Whitewater near Alpine, that's going to make it to minor flooding stage, just barely. And then we look at the East Fork of the Whitewater River near Abington. That'll also make it to just minor flood stages. Okay, I think that covers everything that they have in here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see. Paint Creek is going to rise to just under flood stage. So, so those are all the flood stages. So we have two things to worry about: severe weather this evening and overnight, and the threat of flooding as we head on into tomorrow. So what comes next here? Okay, so let me go ahead now and go. We didn't get to the forecast yet. It's been a long day, let me tell you. And I'm probably not going to have time to take questions. I'm sorry, because I talk too much. So let's start talking about, go to the 7-day forecast. That's where we left off. Remember, I'm going through my sock drawer looking for the right thing. Okay, so here is your 7-day forecast. And put it full screen so you can see it. It'll come up here in just a second. Oh, there it is. Boy, computer's kind of slow. Okay, so we have a low overnight of 62, a high tomorrow of 68. There'll be heavy rain and thunder in the forecast. Again, severe storms, a pretty good bet this evening and overnight. That would be late this evening and overnight. So I'm just looking at the latest here. I've got to check something out here very quickly. Just keep looking at that. I'll be right with you. I'm standing right here still. So let's see. Okay, yeah, there's a new tornado watch out, but it does not include our viewing area. That's what I was checking. I just saw it pop up on my radar scope app, and wanted to make sure that I gave you the latest information. Okay, so 68 the high tomorrow. So we've got the chance of severe thunderstorms into about 4 to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then it's just rain that we're worried about in our far southern counties. Rain comes back on Friday. Some of it could be heavy, a low of 54, a high of 65. 52 and 67 on Saturday with rain and maybe some more thunderstorm activity, and then rain coming to an end Sunday, probably about noontime. Notice we have highs in the 60s for Friday and Saturday, then upper 50s on Sunday, and we cool off to the upper 40s and lower 50s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it definitely looks like it's going to be on the chilly side. And when we go to beyond the 7-day forecast, looks like we're going into drier weather. So from Sunday the 13th to the 16th, we've only got the slight chance of showers in there. Temperatures a little bit below normal. And then here's the 7-day plus. Okay, I didn't have a real good time to edit this. We're going to stay at or below normal for a significant amount of time. And that kind of fits, and that's right in line with what the National Weather Service Climate Prediction Center said when we looked at those maps. So that's what we've got. So right now, we have no watches, no warnings in effect. We've got those. Let me just show you on radar again. I might as well, rather than just talk about it. A picture's worth 1,000 words. So I might as well make use of that. Okay, so it'll come up here in just a second. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. So what we're watching this cluster of thunderstorms and the energy that is with it. Okay, they may not stay strong or tornadic, but this cluster is heading right into our viewing area. It's going to combine with this, and we'll more than likely see 10:30 to 11:30. We'll probably see an increase in the chance of severe thunderstorms. Before then, we'll probably go into a tornado watch, and I think sometime during our 10 o'clock news, we'll be talking about a lot of severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings around the tri-state. So, okay, that is it for now. I've got to run. I've got to start tracking and doing some plotting to see exactly what's going on here so I know what to say. So that'll be it. If any warnings come out, we'll be on immediately on Fox 19. If the warnings come out after the news is over, we'll probably be both on social media and the news. And we're going to try to do social media and TV at the same time this evening so that we can get you covered no matter which way you're trying to get the information. So that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe. Remember, if you live in an area that's prone to flooding, especially those streams like Ohio Brush Creek, some of the smaller streams that typically flood that you may know about that we can't name because we don't know about them by name, be aware that you have to pay attention to get out of the way of the floodwaters if they come up quickly. And that's it. Thanks for joining me.